morning, everyone. Suburban Prepper doing my morning drive live. Today's Monday. Today's Monday. I used to work from home on Monday, do telephone visits, see my patients virtually. But now I go into the clinic and I do virtual visits and call my patients and do telephone visits. So thank you. Everyone having a good day, I hope today. It's Monday. It's part of a beautiful week. It's going to rain here today, this week, which I'm happy for because the rain is good for my prepper garden. This weekend I planted cover crops, which are going to be my lima beans and my carrots. And what you can see in some previous gardening videos, I have raised beds, which were formerly made for water troughs for horses, and some gardening beds, oval ones and round ones. Anyway, so around the perimeter of my raised beds, I have the carrots on the west side, and I have the lima beans growing on the east side. Okay, and I did that so I can maximize space. And of course, in the center of each bed will be the main crop, which this year is going to be zucchini, eggplant, and there's two varieties of eggplant, a white one and a black one. I planted the black ones last year, they came out really good. The white one, we'll see, I don't know. They're growing all from seed, and of course my these big juicy tomatoes that I hope I can get. Otherwise, right now, I've got some sweet potatoes growing and some, well, they're going to be purple potatoes. I have the potatoes growing on on the other side of my garden each. So I'm pretty excited about that. Because this week I won't have to water anything. The problem is it's not super hot right now. It's 46. And tomatoes don't like to pop out when it's cool. They like the hot weather. I should have done what I should have done. But I will say though already, because I did plant everything last week, and that the zucchini have come out of their seeds and starting to grow a little bit, more so than everything else. And a couple of tomatoes or plants are starting to grow these little two leaves. It starts and it goes up. It's a delicate process, and it's beautiful. The eggplant's a slow grower, but it'll grow. I have everything growing right now in little pods, just to make sure, and it's outside growing, so I don't have to grow something inside and then bring it out and let it get used to being outside. It's going to start growing from the outside, and the plants that make it, the ones that don't. I mean, it's rough, but that's the way it goes. Now, I fertilized my soil with chicken manure and a little bit of 10-10-10 fertilizer before I even get started with anything. I did a video on that a couple weeks ago, and it was still cool outside. Today it's 46 degrees, and I mean, that's pretty chill, baby. But it's not below freezing, so that's all I count. Decided I'm going to wear my scrub top to work today because I work in an OR or an ICU. Well, I work in primary care. But it's like wearing pajamas to work, ladies and gentlemen. But I digress. So yesterday, or the day before, I don't remember which, or it could have been yesterday, I did a cool video about my AR-15 rifles and all the different components of it. And the video was going great, except I got to learn how to use the zoom on my new a ZV-1F camera and really learn how to manipulate that zoom. I'm showing people parts about these little dents and screws that are the AR-15 rifle. I think I'm gonna have to redo that video and do it better. Just have camera facing, I'm gonna say hi, introduce myself, and then I'm gonna go straight down where my fingers are and where the different components are, and you would actually see them. This video is obviously for just folks that are new to the AR-15 world, and it's a niche that I need to fulfill. A lot of these videos that I watch, and I've watched a lot of videos, they go over this stuff so quickly, and it's like you don't know what the piece is. You're somehow not intelligent. I was watching videos on how to operate my camera, and I swear this one lady, she was just going so fast through everything that I didn't understand what they were saying. Well, I know that I have to slow it down, baby. Slow it down. You know what I'm saying, ladies? Well, I'm pretty excited about that. I had done my live stream this weekend. Excuse me. On Saturdays at 7. And I enjoy making my live streams, and that's my first live stream I did with my camera. And I don't know. I mean, I learned this weekend that my camera has a digital zoom. I didn't know that. And I learned that I need to buy some extra batteries and have a recharger for my batteries. Right now, I have one battery for my camera, so that's definitely something I need. I have these little microphones you clip on right here, like you're on the evening news, and you just talk. And the audio in my this weekend's video versus last weekend's, and the video input is 100% better. Because you can adjust the whiteness and the brightness and the flare and all that with the camera, versus I don't know how to do it. You can with the cell phone. And it was fun to do. I thought it would be too challenging where I couldn't figure out this tech and just give up, but I didn't. I just took one piece at a time. Patience. Well, hopefully, now I have one more thing that I'm waiting to come into my garden. Okay, it's the ginger roots, or rhizomes as it's called. I have ginger seed. I'm learning that it takes months to grow. I don't have months. It's patient. Anyone here ever plant ginger? Oh, and tell me what you did. What's different? Did you plant it from seed or from the rhizomes? I have an affinity now for ginger. I love it. In fact, that's what I'm eating right now. It's my favorite nutritionist snack food now. Of course, I have my freeze dryer, so I freeze dry the ginger and it lasts longer, and I do different things with it. Sometimes I fail, sometimes it works, and I do stuff. Digress later. Go back to talking about AR-15s and the variants of it. So, I'm going to do a video about all the different calibers I have in the AR-15 family. I'm pretty excited about that because I didn't realize, I have a 22 that looks like an AR-15, 22 LR, very lightweight. I have 223, 5.56, 223 Wild, which is just the way it's chambered. And my niche, I like to use that word a lot, ladies and gentlemen, my niche caliber, okay? Notice I don't have a ponytail, okay? It's not a 65 treatment. My niche caliber is the 224 Valkyrie. And of course, my AR-10, otherwise known as a 308, AR-308, or LR-308 if you want to be so inclined, whatever works for you. It's my AR-15 or the 308 Winchester Magnum. But if you don't know, ladies and gentlemen, I'm waiting patiently for a 300 Win Mag upper that I can take and use with a AR-10 lower. And now I'm learning that they have to have separate magazines, of course. And I'm hoping that my MDT magazines that I use for my bolt action 300 Win Mag will work for this this new AR that I'm gonna get. Well, we'll see. We're going to run into some complications, I'm sure, ladies and gentlemen. But we'll figure it out. So, I like to do my morning drive live videos. I think that's a catchy title. Just trying to get some the morning going. Well, I like to do my morning workouts, okay, ladies and gentlemen? Sometimes I would do them live on YouTube and Rumble and, of course, on Facebook. But I'm thinking, okay, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to do something a little different. I'm going to work out with my rifle, okay? Do rifle calisthenics. Get a full body workout using my rifles. Has anyone ever seen a video done like that? When I was in the military, I used to do that from time to time just for fun, rifle workouts. But I've never seen anyone make a video doing it. Now I can't do that live because you can't physically own it or use a rifle, even if you're just holding onto it when you do a live stream video. That's not allowed. Now, other things that I want to go about. Another good video that I want to make is my archery skill. I don't know if you know this, I have tingling in my fingers, okay? Which makes it hard for me to go like that. It also makes it hard for me to do some minor surgical procedures now. So, be it as it may, what I have is a little device where I hook up and when I release the bow, line on the bow, and I'm going to do a video about it, and I'm going to do a recording about it, not just demonstrate it. I'm going to do a live video, not a live video, but a recorded video. Excuse me, about this device, and I'm pretty excited about that too, ladies and gentlemen. I think it's a 40-pound bow. It's not anything, it's not a compound bow, which I don't. A good compound bow costs a couple $1,000, I see. I'm not going to get into that, and I'm not spending a couple $1,000. I'm behind one of those Tesla trucks. A nice black Tesla truck. That guy's got money. They're not cheap vehicles, ladies and gentlemen. Hey, if Tesla trucks are your thing, good for you. One thing I don't understand, though, ladies and gentlemen, is I got some neighbors in my neighborhood. They own 2 electric cars. It's cool. That's their thing. But they don't have like solar panels on their house to generate power from the cars. But it makes no sense. You basically, using fuel to convert to electricity versus getting photons to convert to electricity to fuel up your battery for your car. And whether or not the term is fuel, it's the same. It creates a reaction, and the battery drains and it creates another reaction. And you just refill it that way. If you're going to have an e-car, which is cool, you know, batteries and stuff, tech will get better. Batteries will get more compact and more powerful. Discoveries will be made. And I think a lot of that's going to be done with AI, ladies and gentlemen. Then you have more powerful battery, car lasts, the battery life increases, they get more miles out of the battery. And then another thing that they could do with these e-cars, whatever they're called, have it where the surface area is all solar panel. Okay, you know, and the funny thing is, when they came out with the Knight Rider, they did try to do a revision of the Knight Rider TV show from back in the 80s. Hi, Michael. You know, cool. It was cool back in the day. Basically, it was the head of a Cylon, a Battlestar Galactica, and they put it in the car. It was the same thing. If you remember the Battlestar Galactica, the Cylons, how they had the red thing. There's a type of anxiety therapy or PTSD that I went through to help relieve, where you just look at this light and it goes left and right, and it does relax you a little bit, open you up. Some type of cognitive dissonance therapy. I don't know, I'm not a psychologist, okay? I'm sure it's not called cognitive dissonance therapy. Maybe I'll get laughed at by psychologists for doing that. Anyway, it's light therapy or post-traumatic stress disorder. Anyway, I forgot what I was saying. Train of thought. So that was used on Knight Rider. But that new Knight Rider that came out in the 2000s, it lasted for 6 episodes. It was horribly made. The new Knight Rider car, which was a Mustang, okay, ladies and gentlemen, it was all solar. The whole car was solar, and you know, of course it was bulletproof. And I said, okay, that's a great concept. They could, you know, incorporate that in the solar panel cars that they have now. The idea is already out there. Why not just use it? What do you think, ladies and gentlemen? If your car could just drive around and collect energy from the sun all day, on a cloudy day, you're shit out of luck, if you know what I'm saying. But I digress. But, you know, the sun's got to shine somewhere, right? And also make me learn how to collect the moonlight, which is a reflection of the sunlight. The energy level is so much less. Oh, I got a Star Wars person in front of me here. The license plate says Jedi Rey. Of course, Rey was the lead character from the new Star Wars movies that came out. Now, some people like to bash them. It's Star Wars, okay? Whatever you think about it, it's still Star Wars. It has its place. I don't, it's someone's creative work, but it's just, yeah, okay, everyone's got political intentions. Even in 1952, when they did Singing in the Rain, there was political overtones. This is nothing new, ladies and gentlemen. It's a good movie. Just let it stand on its good moviness. And to me, it was a good movie. Star Wars, new movies. The new Star Wars, how Rey is Palpatine's granddaughter, this, that, and the other. And that was like a shock, you know. Well, she had to come from somewhere, and she was forcing it already. I mean, I'm not a Star Wars fan. I like Star Trek better, ladies and gentlemen, but I digress. What I'm doing, I think I'll do this for my next rifle cleaning. I'll have the zoom set more properly so you can see the different smaller components of the AR-15 rifle as I go over them and as I clean my rifles. Okay, ladies and gentlemen. Now, I don't take the whole thing apart. Okay? I take the stuff apart that I clean. And we can go over what it does and so forth. This video is for new gun enthusiasts. The whole thing is, if you want to protect your Second Amendment rights, you need to protect your first, and you need to get others who would otherwise be opposed to your Second Amendment rights. If you can get them involved in the sport and quit referring to AR-15s as assault rifles, which they're not. But if I let my thumbnail grow too big, it becomes a assault thumb nail, fault nail. Anything can be that, right, ladies and gentlemen? So use proper terminology when you're referring to your AR-15 modern sporting rifles or semi-automatic rifle. But never, ladies and gentlemen, ever fall into the trap where you're forced to say it's an assault rifle because it's not. Okay, ladies and gentlemen. Let that just sink in for a minute. Okay. So anyway, one thing that I was doing that was somewhat silly is during each take of my video that I was doing, I would change out different hats. Because that to me was funny. It's internal funniness. As I'm doing today, like, oh look, it's not live. Of course it's not live. Well, I do takes and I cut the video when I go and then of course I'm notorious for saying so, and that's used to. No one wants to hear you say like Homer Simpson. So I cut all that out, and that so or that helps develop the thought that's in my brain to come out, and I can say it. One thing that I do at work when I'm trying to develop a train of thought is I go like this. I shake my head up and down in a positive motion, and the patient goes, what do you think? What's wrong? What's wrong? What happened? And I just know this is my thought process. Because sometimes I got to let my brain come up with ideas on its own to treat my patients. What I'm going to do for the patient. And it's not a thought process; it's an active thought process. I tell my brain, ladies and gentlemen, okay, this patient's got this health, and we want better health results. This is what we're going to do. And I turn it on in my brain, and it does it in the back of my brain without me thinking about it. Unlike how Spock thinks from Star Trek. Remember when they went back in time using a Klingon bird of prey to bring back some whales so the planet Earth wouldn't get devastated by this whale probe that wanted to check out, how come the whales aren't responding. So Spock was calculating the speed that they need to achieve and the variables in his brain, because they were going to go around the sun at light speed to travel back in time, and they needed to calculate the exact moment using the bird of prey. And Spock was, thinking and this, that, and the other. And of course, McCoy, usually you think McCoy, the doctor, makes some insulting comments. And it was sort of cool because McCoy said something about, well, I'm making a rough estimate. And McCoy says, well, I prefer your rough estimates, Mr. Spock, to most people's known, facts. Obviously, Mr. Spock's, beyond level, genius level intellect. I have a statue of Dr. Kirk, okay? I have this big statue of Kirk. It's about a 2-foot high statue. It's a statue of Captain Kirk. I wish I had one of Spock, who's no longer with us. Leonard Nimoy. Okay, ladies and gentlemen. I understand there's a couple of actors, if you count the YouTube videos that made Star Trek, which was great. I mean, I was glued on it. I watched all of it. And then the 2 different movies, the movie and the TV show, which is great. But I want a statue. I want a 2-foot statue of Spock, and then I want a 2-foot statue of Dr. McCoy. It's hard to find them. You know, they're like hummels or something. Those kind of things like that or whatever. Of course, Spock's got the pointy ears. So, I'm on my way to work. And today, I'm going to sit in my office, which is my exam room. Okay, it's nothing fancy. And a little desk like that big. Telephone visits, go over labs, and plans of care. I got a lot of labs to go over. Well, actually, I don't. I do a bunch every week, and I review them. And I don't let it go. Of course, over the weekend, it gets larger. So this time, I'm using my live stream, and it lets me incorporate music while I'm doing the live stream, because I find listening to music while you're listening to my voice is probably more smoothing. I'm not known to have a real delicious sounding, I can listen to Matthew McConaughey talk all day long. Okay, you know what I'm saying, ladies and gentlemen? Got a cool voice. I can listen to guy from Crocodile Dundee talk all day long. I love that Australian voice. But my voice, it's a mix of Southern and Midwest. And sometimes I'll have a little drawl, sometimes I'll have a little Midwest. Yeah. You know what I'm saying, ladies and gentlemen? The music in the background is more smooth. It helps facilitate the video. I am working on doing medical videos, but I'm doing them by disease process or condition, or something that happened with the diseases you're going to have to deal with. And this week or today, the video that I want to work on is the disease complications of what happens when there's a flood that occurs. Because there are complications when floods occur, and the health consequences of it. And I'm exploring that in my video that I'm trying to get published on YouTube, but I'm having some trouble with it. I'll try to figure it out. On my way to work, every time I look at a nice field, I'm like, yeah, that would be a nice gun range. Or a golf course. Okay, all they're doing is hitting balls. Okay? Losing their balls. Losing their balls in water. Can't find their balls anywhere. Versus a nice gun range where you have to walk from each point and shoot the target and hit it before you can go to the next target. You can have a bike, you can do it on a bike, you can walk, and it would be a timed event, whatever. I guess if you want to really, if you're going to do it on a bike, everybody does it on the same kind of bike. Of course, as a prepper, I'm a big fan of e-bikes. You have to count the time it takes to get to target. That would be a good, if I had the money, okay, ladies and gentlemen, we would have a competition about shooting. And whatever niche caliber you wanted to use, and you would force everyone to use the same caliber to make these videos. If I could do that, wouldn't that be great? You just need to have a backdrop for where you're shooting, so the bullets don't go over and hit something. Feel like a golf course or something, except you're using different rounds. And the points are, the more closer you get to the target, the bullseye, there's more points, the less rounds you have to use. Like you have to get 3 on the target, and you get measured by the time that it takes to go to the target. If you're walking, because as you walk further with all your gear on, you get more tired. And then you're aiming. And I don't know if everyone should have the same aiming device or not, or if you can do it by hand or in the prone position. I would make a video about that if I could. But you'd have to have backdrops, real high backdrops, so the bullets would only hit a certain area. And you want to have obviously the area where you're shooting from could be equal or higher than the area you're shooting into. You don't want these bullets shooting over. Because you have some yahoos, if you know what I'm saying, ladies and gentlemen, who will overshoot. And when you're running around carrying all your gear, it's very tiring, and that fatigue impacts how you aim. So it would actually be a great video. Maybe, I don't know, 5 different shooting points, and they would be like 100 to 200 yards away, and you have to get from each point to each point. And each point you have to shoot different styles, okay? Like point 1 would be a freestyle, shoot any way you want. Point 2, you have to shoot in a prone position. Okay, ladies and gentlemen. Point 3, you would shoot in a kneeling position. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, that makes sense. Point 4, you would just shoot in a standing position. But you have to walk towards the target as you're shooting. And point 5, you have to shoot laying flat on your side, as if you're like trying to shoot under a car or something to hit the target. That would make for a cool, that's like they have the 3, you have a shotgun, a pistol, and a rifle, and engage different targets. But this would all be just for the AR-15 rifle. And realistically, the targets, the long range would be 200, 300 yards. And so forth. But you would have nice high burns if they prevent the bullets from getting past them. Now, if I had the wherewithal, I would do that. I don't think that it's legal. I don't think you're allowed to shoot while you're driving. Well, not driving, but while you're in a vehicle. That would be another cool thing to do. Have a convoy in a pickup truck, and you're driving past targets that you can shoot at, and you practice shooting at them in your truck, the back of the pickup truck. I don't know how legal that is to do, but it would still make for a pretty cool video, if you know what I'm saying. sport, ladies and gentlemen. Taking on the Olympics, I don't even know if they do it anymore. They ski and shoot. You would ski some more. Oh, look, I told you, we hit two trucks that were sitting on the middle of the road with a torn. They have a police car. If I had the space and I had to be out in the country, okay, away from everybody, that's what I would like to do. Wouldn't really mess the land up. Yeah, I'm just dreaming right now. What kind of dreams do you have about shooting sports? What would you like to see? Anyone? Easy to figure out because I picked a good music background to play. I think during my videos, my weekend live streams, I'm going to add this to the mix of the video. Of course, one thing I can do with my live stream is I can add recording stuff. Like let's say I want to go over a product or something that I do a video on. Instead of me doing it and opening it up, I can do it from before and show it off then as a split screen. Slowly learning the tech, ladies and gentlemen. But to me, it's fun. This weekend, I had a live opening on an Anchor battery system, and I've never used this. I've used an Anchor. I have one on my helmet to charge, run some optics that need battery power. But I digress, ladies and gentlemen. And then I learned that this battery, this Anchor battery power thing, could take a solar panel. And that'd be a great way to charge it outside in the sun. I don't know what type of solar panel, as far as how many watts I can use. And I can do that research, ladies and gentlemen. And it's good for charging the little things, the HDMI, things that you plug in, and it charges itself. You can plug it into the socket and charge it up that way. And it has that. I did a live stream this weekend about it. And right now I'm using it to charge my batteries for my phone and the batteries in each of my microphones for my camera. I have these portable microphones where you can talk and be outside and you can talk, and the camera would be inside, or the other microphone's inside, and it records what you say, and it goes up to 100 yards. Which would be cool when I'm doing a shooting video and I'm recording it. I just gotta learn to get my angles down better, ladies and gentlemen. You don't want to just see me shooting from the back. You want to see me from the side. I don't think I'm allowed to do it shooting from the front. But I digress. Maybe I can. Of course, the other thing that I like to do, get footage, is get my drone and shoot, but I've never done that yet. I think I still need to get a drone pilot license in order to use my drone for commercial purposes. And if I ever went, where you monetize your channel, that's a commercial purpose. Other than right now, I just use my drone for fun. Ladies and gentlemen. Excuse me. So it's still 46 degrees out on Monday morning. sure that, so when I come into work, there's always fires to be put out, and there's chaos to fix. Like somebody needed a form filled out differently or something, and I was supposed to send back the form, and they didn't. And how can I make something happen if I don't have a form? I'll do the best I can, ladies and gentlemen. But I don't get specific about work for obvious reasons, privacy. Of course, I work in Illinois. You have drivers around here and they'll just cut you off. They'll tell you to blank yourself, and they cut you off again because you didn't turn fast enough for them. Even though it's your fault that the light turned red, okay? Because you weren't going fast enough. Or they honk because they want you to go through the red light. And some people are pretty pathetic. So I'm at an intersection here at Halsted and Chicago Road. Now, if you ever watched Chicago Fire, you've probably heard Halsted before. Because Chicago, Halsted goes all the way in to the big city. Well, those Halsted and Chicago Route 1 are different. This is a different road that I'm on. Anyway, Halsted is a road that goes into Chicago. And a few times I watched Chicago Fire, they had some fires and stuff that started on Halsted. You know, an intersection or something. But the funny thing is about that show is that, like, when they film it, there's nobody out. And that's not true around here. There's always people out. But I guess because they're filming it, you know, stuff, just pretend. One of those actors from the show, I thought they went out with Lady Gaga. Like one of the main actors. He's a good-looking guy. I love his eyes. Okay, doesn't mean I'm attracted. Well, he's got beautiful eyes. An actor that Lady Gaga went out with. I think it was Lady Gaga. I don't know. But anyway, dude's got beautiful-looking eyes. There's something about him. I can find a feature attractive in somebody. Like, I love Mel Gibson's voice. He hasn't lost an Australian accent. You know what I'm saying, ladies and gentlemen? I love, like I said, other people's voices sound way better than mine. And of course, now I am got to turn in to Upholding. That was pretty easy. So I think we're going to cut it off now. Okay, everybody. Thanks for watching. Have a good day. God bless you.